Good day, everyone. I am Alex Greg J. Sharoma, and I'm student number 13. Today, we are going to discuss the activity on Let's Check ULO 2B. Case 1. From the website of an engineering professional society, select a code of ethics of interest to you, given your career plans. For example, the American Society of Civil Engineers or the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers. Selecting 3 or 4 specific points to discuss, compare it to the National Society of Professional Engineers, or NSPE. Do they state the same requirements with the same emphasis? So, I selected the Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines, or ASAP. So, the first ethic I chose is to act for his client or for his employer otherwise than as a faithful agent or trustee. Now on its counterpart is from the NSPE is a fundamental canons number 4. Act for each employer or client as a faithful agents or trustees. The next ethic chosen from ASET is to review the work of another engineer for the same client except with the knowledge of the engineer, unless such engineer's engagement on the work, which is subject to review, has been terminated. On its counterpart on the NSPE is from the Professional Obligations number 7, letter A. Engineers in private practice shall not review the work of another engineer for the same client except with the knowledge of such engineer or unless the connection of such engineer with the work has been terminated. So explaining this particular ethic, uh, there should be this relationship between you and your employer or you or this client, a particular bond of trust binded by the both of you to have this synchronization between the work. On this particular ethic, it is what I respect for the capability and the knowledge of the other engineer because if you will examine another's work, informing them that you reviewed their work is you are practically telling them that they are somewhat incapable to design or go with this particular project or work. Going back to the question, do they state the same requirements with the same emphasis? The answer is yes. So most of the code of ethics from the National Society of Professional Engineers are being adapted of any engineering profession society as its principles. So as I have scanned or browsed through the internet on the professional engineers websites, I have noticed that their code of ethics are being based on the National Society of Professional Engineers. So if makita ninyo sa website sa National Society of Professional Engineers, they have these cases throughout the years na ilang gina-upload discussing on how to handle each uh, each problem, each cases, whether it could be legal or non-legal cases. So this would also help us in the future as civil engineers to uh, be careful enough to act on our own. So why the code of ethics in engineering is important in everyday situations. So the important reason to have the code of ethics for professional engineers is it is to set a standard for professional behavior because you will be careful enough not to act recklessly. Now, next, what can happen if you break ethics as an engineer? Engineers may be held personally and legally responsible. They must be fined and jailed. Next, why should engineers follow the code of ethics? So, engineers should follow their professional code of ethics because the public now will trust engineers more if they know engineers have a code of ethics. It helps them avoid legal problems such as getting sued. So, a trivia is Engineer Ambrosio R. Flores was the first president of the Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines between 1961 to 1964. So that is all for today. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, just fill out the comment sections below and I would gladly answer it if I can. Thank you.